Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back here to today's edition of Intuitive Angling, and really appreciate you guys coming by the channel to check today's video out. Guys, today, here it is, it's the middle of November when I'm filming this video, so we got jerkbait season right around the corner. It's actually on us right now, but over the next 3 months, you're getting into the prime part of jerkbait season. And you guys know I love to fish a jerkbait, and we're gonna be doing a lot of jerkbait stuff over the next 3 months. But today, to kick it off a little bit, I want us to talk about the number one thing. If there's anything else that you can do to give you guys better success with your jerkbait fishing this winter, I'm going to show you guys what it is in today's video. So stay tuned. I think you guys will really get a lot out of this. Also, guys, just a quick invitation. I'd like everybody to consider subscribing here to the Intuitive Angling. If you haven't had a chance to do so, it's free and easy. Right now, guys, we've only got like 35% of the people that watch the videos that are actually subscribed. It's a good way to support the channel. And also, if you'd like to be a channel member, channel members get private videos every week that are not seen by the public. I sort of save some of my more secretive stuff for the members. So if you're interested, just go to my YouTube homepage, click on the join button on your browser, and it gives you information for that. So really appreciate it. Okay guys, jerkbait fishing, man. Jerkbait fishing and flipping are my two favorite ways to catch bass. Sort of a tie. I mean, they're both, the bite that you get on a jerkbait or flipping, I think it's the funnest bite in fishing. I think it's even more fun than a topwater strike, because there's something about it is when you're twitching that jerkbait and all of a sudden you see that line jump when you stop it, or you jerk it and you just feel the weight on there, or when you pitch into that bush and you see your line jump, or you set the hook and you feel that fish on there. There's just something super exciting about it. So if there's two techniques that I would encourage everybody to get into, it's flipping and fishing a jerkbait, which, by the way, are the two most complicated techniques in fishing. There's not another lure category besides, a jerkbait and flipping and pitching that have more variables to it. That's why it's a very complex way to fish. There's a lot of ins and outs to it. There's a lot of, subtleties behind it, a lot of things to consider. So, it's a lifelong endeavor when you get into flipping and pitching and fishing the jerkbait. So anyway, guys, here is the number one thing that I want to tell you guys about. And like I said, I have fished jerkbait since the mid 1970s. I helped design the Megabass Vision 110. I, grew up in the heart of jerkbait land here in the Ozarks. And the number one thing that you can do this year, and guys that have watched the channel before, you've heard me talk about this, is go to spinning gear for your jerkbaits. The only jerkbaits that I do not fish on the spinning gear are like the big giant 7-inch ones, like that Megabass Canada, which weighs over an ounce. But for every other jerkbait that I fish, I don't care if it's a 2.5-inch jerkbait or a 5.5-inch jerkbait, I'm using a spinning rod. Now there's a lot of different reasons for this we'll get into. First of all, the spinning rod you want. The key on a jerkbait spinning rod, guys, is you want a medium action spinning rod that's 6 feet 10 to 6 feet 11 inches long. You don't want it shorter, you don't want it longer. 6'10", 6'11" is the perfect length, because that particular length allows you for the maximum amount of wrist manipulation. If you go to 7 foot, you tend to have too much rod tip out there and you're a little lethargic. If you go to under 6'10", you lose some casting distance and some manipulation part. So 6'10", 6'11", the one that I use is this is the Megabass whip snake model, which is a 6 foot 11-inch rod, medium action. Also, I'll link this in the description of the video, guys, if you'd like to pick one up. Coupled up with a large diameter spool, 3000 series spinning reel. You don't want to use a 2500 because you lose distance on your cast. So the equipment is important. 3000 series, large diameter spool, 6 feet 10, 6 feet 11 inch spinning rod. Key. Straight fluorocarbon line. I use straight Seaguar Vizx fluorocarbon 100% of the time for my jerk baits. You don't want to use mono. You don't ever want to use braided fluorocarbon. You lose so many different advantages that you have with straight fluorocarbon. So the straight fluorocarbon I use is anywhere between 4-pound test Seaguar Vizx up to 12-pound test, depending upon what I'm trying to accomplish and the type of jerk bait that I'm using. So that's my setup with it. Okay, now why do you want to use a spinning rod? That's the main thing. Tons of different advantages with. Number one is it's the manipulation and the feel that you get with a spinning rod versus a bait caster. When you're using a spinning rod and you've got the guides down there, you have so much better feel and the ability to manipulate and put action on a jerkbait, because a jerk bait is not just jerk, jerk, pause, jerk, jerk, pause. That's kindergarten level. If you're a jerk, jerk, pause, jerk bait fisherman, you're operating at kindergarten or first grade level. There's so much that you can do with the jerk bait in terms of vibrating and twitching and pulling and shaking in one spot. And you can't do that with a bait caster. You simply do not have the feel to do that with a bait caster. So that's the number one thing, is the ability to manipulate and put action subtly on your jerk bait. With a spinning rod, it's the best tool that you can have with it. Next with that is your ability to make a longer cast. You can cast a jerkbait 25% further on a spinning rod than you can with a bait caster, especially in windy conditions. A spinning rod gives you ability to make longer casts. It also gives you ability to make longer casts in windy situations. I can promise you, if you're casting into a 15-mile-an-hour wind with a bait caster versus a spinning rod, I can cast twice as far as you can on the spinning rod than you can with a bait caster. And it's important to have length on a cast, because the jerkbait fishing in the wintertime, it's all about attaining that depth most of the time. And the depth attainment occurs with two elements. It occurs with the line size you're using, and it occurs with the length of your cast. The shorter your cast, the less depth you're gonna get. The longer your cast, the more depth. Same with the line size. So the spinning rod allows you to do that. The next with it is your fish fighting and hook setting ability. Once you do get a fish on a jerkbait, a lot of times, guys, on a jerkbait, these fish get hooked with very common for the fish to get hooked with the back hook with just one barb in it. And when you're doing that, you can't put much pressure on the fish. So by using a spinning reel, that allows me to back reel. Never use a drag. Drags are the most overrated thing in fishing. You always want to set your drag fairly tight and you back reel, because by back reeling, you can put exactly the most minuscule amount of pressure on your, the fish, or the maximum amount. So learning to back reel with a spinning reel, you can't do that with a bait caster, is a big element with that. And also with the medium action, you're combined with the back reeling, your ability to land fish is just so much more. And also, I just feel like you get a better hook set and you get better penetration with the spinning rod with it. So anyway, guys, I've done on the water lessons for years and years and years, and practically everybody that goes out with me is converted to a spinning rod after they've been in a boat a day with me. I've got almost all my friends fishing a spinning rod with a jerkbait, including my pro friends. It's the way to go. It's like, there's no reason to throw a jerkbait on a bait caster. I don't care if you're fishing for 10 pounders, you can still accomplish the same thing with a spinning rod as you can with a bait caster. So anyway, guys, I wanted to pass that along. Number one tip, we'll do dozens of more videos on this over the next couple of months, but the first thing I want to get you set up is get a spinning rod, get set up. Like I said, I'll put some links in the Tackle Warehouse description in the video if you guys want to get you some rods. They got them right now at 20% off, guys, with the Black Friday sale. So link in the description. Hope it helps out. We'll talk later.